What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about ZBCN, Zebec today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 21st day of June. Here we are with about 7 hours, 44 minutes left in the day at about 00385. Looking like we do want to go a little bit lower. That's the expectation, at least. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we did go lower. Let's look at this relative low to high just real quick and just see where we are. Relative low to high. Come on now, there we go. Yeah, this will be... 7 hours, 44 minutes goes by. This will be the third day in a row that you've closed below the 236. Lowest daily closes that you've had throughout this whole range. This actually would be the lowest daily close you've had in this whole range here. So definitely a signal that we're going to go lower. It would be absurdly rare and uncommon for you to find support here and then move up from here, you guys. Just with this kind of look, it's very likely that you go down to the 382. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and zoom out from there and see if we can confirm that. Let's look at the 15-minute first, because sometimes and oftentimes enough, CBCN, you are squirrely, right? You like to be volatile. Even on the way down, you're volatile. I didn't realize I had all these indicators up. I thought it was just the RSI. That's okay. Stochastics would suggest that you go up higher, but to be fair, the 15-minute time frame you could reject here. MACD is about to cross green. Hey, you might go higher. RSI, it's bearish, but you could go higher first before going down. And that wouldn't be too crazy, right? Moving up here, you find a lower high, and then you move down. So don't be surprised if by the time you watch this video, we're up at like 0039. I doubt that we're above 004. I don't think that we'd be above this high here. Even if we do, let's say that we go all the way up to like 0041. You're still going lower. Okay, don't get too excited. You're still going lower. You want to invalidate it. You want to validate the idea that you're going higher. I would say you have to get above 00422. Get above about 00422. 00423. What is this high right here? Let's see. Let's get it. 00423. Get above there. If you can get above there, and not just wick above there, but stay above there and close above there on a 4-hour time frame or greater, then yeah, I would think that you have found your low, or maybe a relative low, and you do stand a chance to go back up to these areas or higher, right? But until you do something like that, I'm maintaining the stance that you are bearish. And again, even if you get up here, that's not saying that you're not going lower. You could get up here, and that doesn't mean that you found your low and that you're absolved. Maybe you just retrace a little bit more, and then you go lower. Maybe retrace a little bit less than that, and then you go lower. Maybe you get a big bull trap, and then you go down. Honestly, if you get above that high, I would admit defeat at that point, okay? But that's what it would take. And even then, all the way up at that high, you're still a good bit away from your all-time high, right? From the all-time high to that high in itself, that's a, if it'll let me, come on, I'll just do this. It's about a 27% drop. So even if you waited for the price to get up there, you're still getting it at a 20% or greater discount, right, than FOMOing at the top there, which a lot of people did. A lot of people did FOMO at the top. If we look at Bybit here, the biggest exchange that has this thing available to trade, there were a lot of people, a lot of volume came in at the top here. Big spike in volume here at these areas, right? I think most people probably got in basically throughout this whole range here. This is where most people onboarded, and that's why, just simply that explanation, or that reasoning right there is what allows me to believe that we will go lower, because most of you aren't in pain right now. Most of you, some of you really are, but most of you are probably sitting pretty, right? Or at least neutral or a slight loss. Once you feel pain, once most of you feel pain, that's whenever it will recover. That's whenever people make bad decisions. They panic sell to the big dogs, the people that have been waiting to eat this thing up. They're hungry, and they're going to eat it up, man. They're going to get it. But not here. Probably not here. Maybe. Depending. If they want it bad enough, if the big dogs want it bad enough, maybe you're absolved of feeling pain, but I don't think so, man. I think that you will go lower. Looking at the 15-minute time frame, though, it does make me think you go up a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. The 1 hour RSI sucks. The 1 hour stochastics, it's in a good position to move up from here. But overall, it's not a good look. The MACD, again, also the 1 hour and the 15-minute time frame, all suggesting that you might see a little upside going into the end of the day here. So if you're up above 0039 or even up above 004, don't get too excited. Okay, definitely don't get too excited. But I don't think you get above that high there personally. I don't think you get above 004, but it could happen. I'm just saying that in case it does happen. That way people don't just get excited because some kind of imaginary line that really doesn't matter broke. 4 hour time frame. RSI sucks. Looks like it wants to go lower. You do have higher lows, which is nice to see. Right, you got a low here, coming up with these lows here. Look at that. It's actually it's in a nice succession. I think that whenever you break out of this, you'll be getting into your oversold zone, and that should be when you really kick off this down move, right? Here you're lingering. It's like you want to find it's like you want to break out, but you're just not doing it yet. So you're loading up, and then you'll do it, right? Anybody looking at this saying, this is bullish, it's like a double bottom, maybe. Your last reaction was this. So if you have a weaker reaction here, that's actually bad, okay? Let alone if you don't really have a reaction at all. It's bad, right? If it's a double bottom, you should have a double bottom reaction, right? You should. I mean, we had a double bottom before once in this thing's history, right? We've seen this before. It was all the way down here. That double bottom, you see that? You see that reaction? It was even stronger than the first reaction. That's how you know it's a double bottom. Yeah. If it's a weaker reaction, that's how you know it's not. Typically, not always, but typically. It's all probabilities. It's not guarantees, right? 4-hour MACD tells me we've got lower to go. Yeah, absolutely, we've got lower to go. Stochastics would also agree that we have lower to go. RSI agrees as well. So yeah, while you might move up in the meantime, maybe even to end this day, I think that you're just beginning this, that you haven't really even begun this movement to the downside, okay? Daily time frame here. And for anybody that hears that and they're saying, what do you mean we haven't even begun? From a high to a low, we're down 48%. Yeah, I mean, you haven't begun. You're still in your consolidation phase. You haven't begun the downtrend from here, right? 48% drop, yeah, okay. But that's, if you're calling that the beginning of a downtrend, I would say you haven't even begun it because you're still up from your low. What do you mean you've already begun? You're up 458%. You got more to go. If you think that a 48% drop in what took less than 2 weeks' time to achieve, if you think that's enough, you're probably very new to crypto. And that happens, man. A lot of people who are new to crypto, they invest their life savings and stuff like this at the top, and then that gets them emotionally involved, so that they think they know something because they put their money on the line. But you know, nobody's special. Everybody thinks they're special, but nobody's special, you guys. Every crypto does this stuff where they pump and then they pull back, right? That's how it happens. And it doesn't take 2 weeks after you pump up in a month and a week, 10x. It does not take 2 weeks to recover. It takes like several weeks to recover, you know, unless we're in peak alt season. But I've said that before. Low to high here, 382 is where you're going to go. 00293, absolutely, that's the expectation. I could draw all the fibs on there to make sense out of it, but we all know that that's been the target. So I'm not going to mince words any longer. I don't think I need to. Daily time frame. Let's look at the indicators. Daily stochastics looks like they want to go lower. MACD probably gets another drive, and you're very near your low, but just not there yet, right? And then the RSI could go lower as well and still be fine, right? If you go down here, you find support like you have throughout your basic whole history, it would make a lot of sense. Here is not where you find support. Lower is where you find support. And if you go lower, I would anticipate that you get a wick down to about 0029, and then you probably close up a little bit higher. I wouldn't be surprised if you close the same day that you find your low, you probably close above 003 or something like that. And inevitably, you'll work your way up. Inevitably, you will be going higher. Absolutely, you will. From a high here on Bybit to a low here on the price, the all-time high to low, prior all-time high to low, I should say. If it'll let me get that tip, come on there. 1414. It's very common, guys. It's absurdly common to go from this area down to this area right here, which is 0029. It's right there. Even if you go just below 0029, that doesn't mean you're forsaken, right? Just like the people shouldn't get excited for a little bit of a move up. Don't get too discouraged if you move a little bit below there. You don't have to go to the 886, but just this kind of maneuver is very common, especially in strong endeavors. You expect to hold the 886 or higher, right? Maybe you hold 0034, but I doubt it. I bet you go a little bit lower. Something in this range, right? You'll find support there. And then your next target is about 1 cent. You probably don't spend any time there at all. You'll probably go right up to about 1.4 to 1.7 cents, find some turbulence, and then continue on your way to 2.6 cents, 4.7 cents, something like that. Maybe you even go all the way up to 10 cents. I don't know. I'm not expecting 10 cents personally. I think something between 2.7 cents and 4.7 cents is likely where you'll end up by the end of July. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. All right. Thank you all. Bye-bye.